we're podcasting.
Okay, here we go. Hi, my name is Beth Hiley here for Board Game Geek TV at Essen 2013. And I'm sitting down with Jeff Engelstein. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
And we still have over there at the end, Steve Monacore.
Just annoying. Just here to annoy. Jeff's going to do all the talking.
From Stronghold Games, and you have brought us your game with Sydney at Engelstein. Space Cadets Dice Duel. Oh, and Shelly.
Hi.
Shaw. I'm sorry, Shelly. Look, I was, you're hiding behind the box.
She's
Oh,
doing
look
the
at Shelly.
Vanna White.
But you've brought us Space Cadets Dice Duel.
Yes, this is a game that I developed with my daughter, Sydney, and who
How old?
unfortunately she's 17. She's a
Very
senior in high school.
nice.
Actually, and before we get into the game, Shelly, can you
Yes,
grab that box one more time?
of course.
I want people, if they own Space Cadets, and if you go get Dice Duel, to compare the covers side by side.
Yes.
Stephen and I talked about this at Gen Con, that the different artists,
Two different artists.
but the same scene essentially with two different things happening. One's a little bit more laid back, and this one is, oh
We
no!
all have a friendliness, absolutely.
Yes.
It's to show the action.
Since this is a real-time
This
game.
ship out there, which represented there, is now firing on the ship, and the action is everyone's rocking in their seats as they did in that other 60s science fiction show.
There's even
Apparently we're on the quiet end of the
even
ship.
an unbuckled seatbelt.
I guess
there,
there you go. So just go take a look at your covers. But Jeff, why don't you tell us what to expect with Dice Duel?
Yeah, so Dice Duel is kind of a companion game to Space Cadets. It's not
But it is
an
a
expansion.
standalone,
It's
right.
a total standalone game. Yeah, no previous knowledge of Space Cadets or the cover of the old Space Cadets is required to enjoy this game. But it's kind of has the same feel where you are playing the team of the bridge of a starship, and in this case, whereas in Space Cadets it's all completely cooperative and you're all working together. In this, there are two definite teams, and they are fighting against each other.
Yeah,
Watch
bring it
out.
on.
Watch
Bring
out.
it on.
We're gonna win this.
which right away, kind of amps up the energy with the right crowd. And also, this one is a real-time game. There's no turns or phases or anything like that. Once the game starts,
phasers.
you just keep rolling your dice and it keeps going. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there a snare drum somewhere?
There we go.
It's real time. People just roll their dice constantly until the other ship blows up. So it's very intense, and because of that, we kept the time frame down. So a typical game will last about 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
So it's a good time frame, and you can jump in and do a couple of games and change things up, change up the positions, and so it really feels a different niche than the original Space Cadets does. So this is the board which represents your sector, and in this case there's two ships. We have the white ship, which is represented by the team that would sit on that side of the board, and the black ship, and this is the sector that you're battling over. And as we said, there's 6 different stations that are on the ship. You have engineering, sensors, weapons, tractor beams, helm, and shield. And those are going to be divided up between the players. So this can go from 4 up to 8 players. So either 2 versus 2 all the way up to 4 versus 4. And you can divide it up any way you want, but we have suggestions about how you do that.
Okay.
Although I have known some intrepid people that have tried to play it one-on-one, but we don't recommend that.
That's a little,
But people
little
told me
tricky.
that they did it and they enjoyed it. So if you want to give it a shot, you can. So you're trying to get 4 points worth of damage on the enemy ship in order to win the game, and you do that by either launching the torpedoes at the ships, or by dropping these mines somewhere on the board and then having the other ship run into them, or using your tractor beams to push them into the mines, which is a fun thing to do. Although it's surprising how many people just accidentally run over the mines because they're not paying attention. They get
Bad
fast.
helmsman.
So really the core mechanic of the game is around the dice for each station. So every station has a specific color-coded set of dice. So it's just the regular plain white D6s for engineering, but then you have these the shield dice, the helm dice, and so on, and they're all really bright and colorful.
Beautiful custom dice.
Stronghold did a really nice
They
job
really
of
are.
getting these
Thank
things.
you,
And
thank you.
they're going to
Please,
hold up. We
please.
really wanted to get something that was
These are all
hold up.
it's all indented.
Yeah.
It's not
So
like flat.
it's not going to rub
it's beautiful.
off over time.
Yeah.
You can roll these
it's great.
things forever.
Thank you.
However, all of these other pretty dice, you are not allowed to roll them normally. If you're just sitting there and you're manning weapons, you can't roll your weapon dice until you get energy from engineering. So engineering is the only station that can roll their dice all the time. So this is what the engineering station looks like, and I said they just have the regular D6s. So there's a number that's associated with each station, like weapons is 1 and sensors is 2. So in order to give energy to those, let's say we decide that we want to give energy to our weapons and sensors, we just roll our dice, and then, these are over here. So if we have, the weapons are 1, so we could take this 1 and give it to weapons, we could take this 2, give it to sensors, and then we could keep rolling. Oh, we did really good here, so I got 3 over here and 2 over there.
And you just keep
So
rolling.
you can just keep rolling, and then if I want to give this 4 to shields, I can, whatever.
Or keep re-rolling it.
If
and
I'm
keep
not
rolling
happy
it. I
with
don't
the
like it. I
4,
don't like it. Oh, now that's what I want.
Going, roll.
All real time.
And yeah, I mean, eventually you'll get what you want, so you can kind of do your perfect plan. But the thing is that the other team is rolling at the same time. So maybe they're doing something that you want to react to and that you have to try
There's
to
an
do it.
exact duplicate of every component here for
In
the
the
other
box.
team, which
I
we
was
didn't-
gonna ask
which we
about
didn't
that.
take
Yeah,
out. But
only
there's
showing
only showing half of the components in the game. Make sure they know that.
Right.
This has got a lot of dice in it.
Yes. Yes. 50 dice. So once here's the weapon dice. So as I said, normally sensors can't roll their dice, weapons can't roll their dice until they get these energy. But as soon as these 2 dice are placed here by engineering, weapons can grab 2 dice and roll their dice. And again, they can roll them and re-roll them until they get something that they're happy with. So maybe we want to put that there and keep rolling. And as soon as I put a die on there, I can take one of my energy and I give it back to engineering. And then when I put my other one on, I give it back to engineering. And as soon as I give it back, engineering can start rolling the dice and giving them back out. And so cycling the dice through the ship as quickly as possible. Okay, I got my energy back, now I'm going to give it to helm, now I'm going to give it to weapons, and deciding as a team where you want your emphasis to be. Are we trying to load torpedoes, or are we trying to move out of the way, or do we need to raise shields really quickly? That's where the communication and the franticness
And timing things in the appropriate
absolutely.
order.
Yeah.
And Jeff is trying to create a torpedo here if it wasn't obvious. The nose cone, the middle section, and the tail section.
Oh.
Now he has a torpedo loaded
that's
if you
a
were able to do
torpedo.
this. And then at some point during the game, the captain or the engineer, whoever's designated, or the weapons officer will say, fire 1. That's the only time, one of the only times during the game that the action stops, and you determine if you've hit the other ship. The object of the game is to destroy the other ship. There are 4 hits to destroy the other ship. If they take 4 damage, they're gone. And what also happens, as they take hits, they lose dice. They'll lose one of their dice that will go
Balancing it out.
to this thing. So they have 1 less die to then be rolling. So it's a very bad thing. Jeff, please take it away.
Yeah. So, we wanted it to make, because it's real time, we wanted there, but we still wanted there to be tactical depth in terms of what's going on. So we added a lot of features, but kind of simplified it down so that it's really easy to kind of jump into and get going. For example, to fly the ship, you were going to roll your helm dice here. This is the helm display, and put them on here, and kind of like, Robo Rally or other kinds of program movement games, you basically are going to put the dice on there and plot what your movement is, which is also similar to Space Cadets. And but again, you can roll the dice until you get what you want.
Right.
So if you don't have to roll all 3 and look at them and try to figure out how you're going to make a plan. If you want to move straight and then turn right and then go straight, you can just keep rolling until you get that.
Perfect.
But again, time, you got to
Time
worry
is
about
important.
the timing. And then when you put all 3 dice on, then you actually move your ship. You can't just move your ship with 1 die, you have to get 3 dice.
Oh, you do.
And so you would then move your ship on the map, and then you take these dice off, and you have to get more 5s from engineering before you can start doing it. So if you want to move your ship really fast, you send a lot of energy to helm, and then you can keep rolling the helm dice.
And of course, interesting things happen if you keep running into things on the board as you're moving around.
Yes. So, and again, we try to keep it really simple. We have these blue asteroid tokens and the green nebula tokens. And if you move through an asteroid, that just causes your ship to lose shield dice. If you have dice on your shield display,
Which just so happen to be blue.
you have to take them off. And if you
Yeah,
go
you
through
think
the
of
nebula,
everything.
then you
That's
have to take off your
It does.
sensor dice, which are the green
good.
dice. So again,
Sense?
it's really, because so much is happening at the same time, we wanted to keep it really simple. And as Stephen said, when you decide that you want to attack the ship, the enemy, is our enemy ship, you've got to check to make sure that they're within your sights. So we talked about the torpedoes. You can load the torpedoes in the front of your ship or in the back of your ship. You have 4 torpedo tubes, but since you have 6 dice, you can only load 2 torpedoes most. So, thank you very much. So in this case, we have 1 loaded in front and 1 loaded in the back of the ship that can shoot out the back. And
So you could
in this
shoot
case, we could
backwards,
just shoot,
yeah.
right, you can shoot backwards. So you got to coordinate with your helmsman in terms of which direction your ship is going to be facing. And in this case, we are 2 squares away from the enemy, or if we were here, say we would be 3 squares away from the enemy.
Orthogonal only.
1, 2, 3. So all we need to hit is we have to have 3 of these little target lock symbols. If I roll these 2, now I've got 4 target locks, so that would be enough to hit.
That's okay. You can go over.
And again, once you have this dice set up, someone's going to shout fire, the weapons guy, when he's ready to launch. And at that point, it freezes so that we can compare. So then you're not rushed, So then, okay, everyone can take a breath and we can look and say, okay, yes, you have a torpedo loaded. Yes, this is where you are. Yes, you have enough locks. And then the enemy can have these symbols, which are jammers, which make it harder for you to lock on. And then if you do hit, then you take a look at the shield. So all that's done not under the real-time part of the game, so that it's...
So that really affects whether you win or lose.
But it's also fun, originally we really wanted to try to make it just non-stop from beginning to end. But in the end, I think that stopping point where somebody just all of a sudden yells fire and everyone just has to freeze, it's such a dramatic moment in the game. I mean, it's just so exciting.
It's always followed by someone saying bleep. There's always cursing that goes on right after somebody says fire 1.
Either the ship that was firing, when they realized that the other ship has moved out of the way, or has put all their jammers up and they didn't realize it, or the other ship that got caught with their shields down.
A good way of putting it.
And then
listening to what the other people are actually trying to do, knowing what you have to do.
Right, and you can look at their displays.
Yeah, you're going to see it all.
So, in fact, when for 4-on-4, or if you have more, I've known people that play 10-player games, 5-on-5s. You have one player that's designated as the captain that just stands behind their team. They don't even roll any dice. They just stand there, but their job is to watch what's going on, watch the other team. You can see their displays and what they're doing and where they're planning on moving to.
Plotting out the strategy. He's saying,
telling you what to do. Yeah.
Send it over to shields. Send it over to shields.
And a lot of people, when you first teach it to them and I say, okay, you're going to be the captain, they're really not into that. They think like, oh, it's going to be boring. I want to roll the dice. I'm just going to be standing there. And then by the end, they're like,
well, they're in charge of
the best.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
Yeah. So, and then the last station is the tractor beams. And for the tractor beams do a bunch of fun things. First, you can pick up these crystals, which give you various special abilities. They let you jump around the map. They help you to repair some damage on your ship. You can use them to just put dice down on a station without having to roll it. But you got to cash in your crystals to do that. Right. So again, that's another tactical decision you have to make. And then you can also use them to move the enemy ship a square, which can be fun because you can push them into push them into asteroids, which takes dice away from their shields right before you shoot them with a torpedo. You can drop mines and push them into the mines. And so the tractor beams add a lot of kind of tactical depth to the game. And that's one of the things also that I grew up on all the old Apollon Hill war games. I mean, I used to play really detailed simulation type games from way back. So, I didn't just want a speed game where the fastest die rollers are going to win. There's a lot of really good tactics in this game. Sitting down an experienced team is going to always beat the pants off of a team, no matter how lucky the novice team is at rolling the dice and whatever. If you work together as a team and you know those little tricks that you can do and how you maneuver around to the unshielded side of the enemy ship and then use your tractor beams and all that stuff. There's a lot of really cool stuff.
Just like the bridge of a well-oiled starship.
There you go.
Now,
work together, it'll work.
I know you guys had copies available at Gen Con.
We did. We flew those in just for Gen Con.
Exactly, but has it hit the U.S. for general release yet?
It has not. It will be out in 2 weeks again on November 6th.
All right, you got a lot of your stuff coming out.
It is in the warehouse.
It is in the warehouse right
now. It's not on the boat because that can be a very...
This is actually in the warehouse in the U.S. I just started shipping out. Right?
Pre-orders are shipped. In fact, I got all the notifications, so the people with pre-orders should get them any day soon. Yep. And in about 2 weeks, it'll be in the flag stores.
Friendly local
game stores.
And we also have a fairly healthy supply here at Essen.
That's a fairly healthy supply.
Well, Jeff, thank you so much, and our kudos to Sydney as well.
Oh, she was sorry that she couldn't make it. I couldn't pull her out of school.
And that is Space Cadets Dice Duel. Cool. All right.
Really? Oh. That's nice. Oh, okay, it's not a recorded thing, just this the tone? Oh, it's still recording. Oh, okay, well, Stronghold Games is what is it called? An Ultimate Geek sponsor. Ultimate Geek sponsor at BGGCon, which, by the way, and I don't say this because Aldi is like 5 feet away from me, is the simple, best run convention that I go to all year round, and I'm happy to be a sponsor now 2 years running. So Besides that, we're also going to be running a Going Gone tournament, one of the few scheduled events at VGG-Con. Scott Nicholson himself is going to be there running the tournament, using the game itself, of course, but then for the finals, he's got some special stuff going on. Prizes for everybody who enters, special prizes, of course, for the final table, and special prize for the winner of the final Going Gone con. So if you're going to VGG-Con, you're going to have a great time. Come by the Stolen Games booth, play Dice Duel. Jeff's not going to be there, unfortunately, at BGG. I'm going to get him there next year. Play Going Gone and play in our tournament. Going to have a great time there. Thank you all.